Hey YouTube, this is Peter J. Hopkins. Welcome to my next video on solving twisty puzzles. In this video, we're going to discuss how to solve the 2 cube, sometimes called the Rubik's mini cube. This cube is actually older than my other ones, and the sticker's a little faded, so the orange and the red are a little difficult to tell apart, but I'll try to help you out with that. There are a couple of things you need to keep in mind when solving a 2 cube. Even though you can solve it in fewer moves than a 3 cube, I personally think it's actually a little bit trickier because you don't have any centers to help you orient which way you're holding the cube. So for example, if you want to turn the left face, you hold the right face stationary and you turn the left face, well guess what? You've just turned half of your cube. So it can be easy to lose track of what you're doing if you're not paying very close attention to what you're doing, and in my opinion that makes it just a little bit trickier. First thing to do, if you have not seen my video on solving 3 cubes, the standard Rubik's Cube, I strongly recommend that you watch that you learn how to solve a regular 3x3 Rubik's Cube before you attempt a 2x2 cube. Like I said, it's smaller and it takes fewer moves, but it's actually a little bit trickier in my opinion, and everything you need to know to solve a 2 cube, you need to know to solve a 3 cube. Solving a 2x2 cube is basically the same as solving a 3x3 cube, but just the corners. So you don't have to worry about any edges, you're just solving the corners. So let's scramble this cube up and then we'll get started. This one tends to freeze up a little bit on me because, like I said, it's pretty old and it's beat up, and Rubik's brand cubes really aren't that good. I recommend V cubes if you're really going to get into competitive solving, but I'm not competitive, so I don't really care. But it's up to you. Alright, so this is pretty well scrambled. Let's start with, again, I always start with red. It's my favorite color. I just enjoy it. And I like starting with the RGB corner, red, green, blue, just as a tech kind of video file guy. I think that's a fun way to start. So we have a red, green, blue. You start with a corner. And you sort of use that as your starting point. You keep it oriented toward yourself so you know what you're doing. And then you look for the other corner that has red and green. So you want to line up 2 of the colors. Here it is. Here's red, green, and white. So it's the same as with a 3x3. You get it underneath of where you want it, and then you do the R prime, D prime kind of, algorithm to line it up. Then you move around, so now we're looking for white and red. Here it is. I'm just going to do a little shortcut algorithm there, but it's the same deal. Now we want our, see how this is going to go in this spot, red, yellow, and blue. But we just need to flip it around. You do the exact same algorithm that you would do to flip that around on a 3 cube. So now our first face is done. You flip it over, and on the second face, on the back face, you have a couple of different situations that could arise. You could have no corners in the right spot. You could have 1 corner in the right spot. You could have 2 corners next to each other, 2 corners sort of diagonal from each other, or all 4 in the right spot if you luck out. If you don't have any in the right spot, the goal is to try to turn this last face so that 1 and only 1, or 4 if you're lucky, are in the right place. So, okay, so now I have 1 corner in the right spot. See, orange, blue, and green. That's where I want it. I have the orange side, the blue side, and the green side, the blue side, and the orange side is the side that I'm doing last. Then you would just do the exact same algorithm to shuffle around the last corners, the last 3 corners on a 3x3 cube. In this case, yeah, I want to move them counterclockwise, so I'm going to do the standard one. And now all 3 are in the right spot. And you can just, at this point, use the exact same algorithm that you would use, the R prime, D prime, R, D. Make sure to turn the last one there, and you're solved. Let's say you have a situation where 2 next to each other are in the right spot. See, blue and yellow is here, yellow and white is here, but then the other 2 are not. You have 2 that are not in the right spot, and they're on the other side there. In order to fix this situation, what you have to do is you have to turn this last face so that 1 and only 1 corner is in the right place. So you just pick one arbitrarily. It doesn't really matter. So I'm going to turn it so blue and green are in the right spot. And again, one and only one, the blue and green, is in the right spot. And then you use your three-corner shuffle, sort of clockwise or counterclockwise, depending on how you want to fix it, algorithm. And now they're all in the right spot. And then you just flip around the corners using the R prime, D prime, R, D thing until they're all facing up. Okay, the trickiest situation with the 2 cube on the last layer is where you have the two that are in the correct spot, but they're diagonal from each other. See, the white and green and orange is here, the blue, yellow, and orange is here, but these other two are not in the right spot, so the ones that are correct are diagonal from each other. And if you try to turn the last face, it just fixes the other two and messes up the two that were right originally. So it can be kind of, like, there's no way to fix it just by flipping things around. So the only way to fix that is you have to do the three-corner either counterclockwise or clockwise shuffling algorithm so that you get two that are correct next to each other. And that should make it so that when you have the two that are correct next to each other, then you can turn your last layer to get one correct one in the right spot, and it'll put three in the wrong spot, and then you can use the same algorithm, either clockwise or counterclockwise, to move those last three into the right spot if you don't mess up like I just did. Okay, so it's as you can see, it's just like solving the corners of a 3x3 with a few caveats. Normally, solving the edges would get the corners into a more sort of correct position, and so your last layer corners are the only tricky part of this and keeping track of where you are. So good luck with it, have fun, and I hope to see you next time.